Hi folks, in the previous video we spoke about Elizabeth Clarer, the South African woman who said that she was taken into a UFO, had a relationship with the alien being she called Akon, and eventually had a child with him. So this week we are going to continue with her story for a little while, and then we will go on to discuss the 1960s and sightings of UFOs during the 1960s. So in a huge correspondence file at AFU are letters from almost all of the well-known contactees of the 50s and 60s. Edith Nicolaisen, founder of Parthenon Publishing House, became close friends with Elizabeth Clarer. However, initially Elizabeth's claims came as quite a shock to Edith and her colleagues. In the file are 23 letters between Edith and Elizabeth written between 1956 and 1976. It was after reading an article in the Flying Saucer Review in 1956 that Edith first contacted Elizabeth. In this article, Elizabeth described the alien being Akon as the most handsome man I have ever seen. She said that he spoke perfect English and that he had told her he spent some time living on Earth. She said that he had a golden-hued skin and blonde hair. Edith and Elizabeth became friendly, and Edith published a leaflet and an article about Elizabeth's experience. However, when Elizabeth started adding to her story and included the tale of having a child with Akon, Edith found it a little too much, and in correspondence with Philip Human, Philip was a South African ufologist, and others, she said that she no longer considered publishing Elizabeth's book, and that is perhaps why it took so long until 1980 for the book to finally be published. It was in particular the interference and comments of people like Philip Human, and who himself said that he had telepathic communications with alien beings, who brought Elizabeth Clarer's story in disrepute. Elizabeth also had a very public argument with a woman named Anne Grevler, who also claimed to have been taken in a UFO to other planets. I cannot find much about Anne Grevler online, but I am trying to get hold of her book, which she published under the name Anchor. After all the arguments and the back and forth, Edith actually admitted, though, that although she had doubts about large parts of Elizabeth's story, she still felt that there was enough that she believed warranted investigation. Regardless of efforts by people like Edith and many others, the years 1958 and 1964 saw very few reports of UFO sightings, and the more skeptical thought that it was nothing more than a passing fashion or fad. Regardless of the skepticism, it is possible that it was more due to a lack of reporting on these incidents than a lack of sightings. And this was the case here in South Africa as it was all over the world. However, with a lot of patience and lots of time, one can actually find some small and almost insignificant reports. There was one report, however, which contained many of these smaller and minor reports. The report was called The Fifth Horseman of the Apocalypse, UFO, A History, by Lauren E. Gross, and it covers UFO sightings from January 1960 to June 1960. Now, some of you can Google this and you may find the report, download it to go read it. Alternatively, if you're having trouble to find the report or to download it, You can email me with the title, The Fifth Horseman of the Apocalypse, in the title line, and I will forward you the entire report. It is unfortunately way too long to read in one video. What I am going to do though is I'm going to read you some of the reports from January 1960, and only the ones that I found very interesting. Okay, so one of the stories from January 1960 which caught my attention was about an incident which took place between the towns of La Victoria and La Vega in Venezuela. A Mr. Adolfo Pisani, a government topographer, was driving his jeep along the highway leading between La Victoria and La Vega. The sky was clear with few clouds, and Pisani could see the level part of the highway and portions of the sky to his left. At one point, Pisani pulled over to the right of the road to allow a truck to pass. He stayed behind the truck for some distance when suddenly a bright metal disc-shaped object swooped down out of the sky at an incredible speed and crossed over the front of the truck. Pisani told that after passing over the truck it rose into the sky and out of sight in seconds. The amazing thing was that as the object rose, so did the truck. The vehicle rose a few feet into the air and overturned. Pisani stopped to help the driver, who was not seriously injured. The incident was reported to the National Guard, and both Pisani and the driver were questioned. The incident was not made public or published in the press. The following one occurred on the 6th of January 1960. When several young couples fled secluded regions of Cobb Park in Fort Worth, Texas, and police were dispatched after a caller reported that a flying saucer had landed in Cobb Park. The following night, a hysterical man from Arlington, Texas, reported to police that he saw an unknown aerial object which landed on the road and then took off after a car. On January 11th, a strange circle of orange and blue lights in the sky was reported from Massachusetts. And then there was another report that appeared in the Cape Town Argus on the 15th of January 1960. According to the newspaper, a Mr. D. Coetzee, the manager of a large insurance firm in Port Elizabeth, saw a cigar-shaped object move eastwards. It was noiseless, and at some point it accelerated, veered off at a tremendous speed, and disappeared within seconds. The incident took place at about 5:40 p.m., and Mr. Coetzee was unable to identify the object or manner of propulsion. Then on the 17th of January, V-shaped light formations in the sky were reported in New Mexico. On the 18th of January 1960, two witnesses reported a crescent-shaped object in North Dakota. Also on the 18th of January, Mrs. Nelson, the wife of a Methodist minister in Ceylon, saw a cigar-shaped object fly in the sky. Mrs. Nelson had two witnesses, a caretaker and a carpenter. On the 19th of January, two ladies saw a silver-rimmed saucer at Coral Gable, Florida, at about 8:20 a.m. And this is one of the reports that you can read more about in this paper titled The Fifth Horseman of the Apocalypse, UFOs, A History. On Sunday, the 25th of January at 11:30 a.m., two Sydney men, Ken Armstrong and George Montgomery, saw a cigar-shaped object at Centennial Park, Sydney, in Australia. It was solid, metallic, and remained stationary in the air for about 5 minutes before making a sharp right turn and disappearing towards the south. Strangely, there were 3 blasts or explosions at 10 a.m. that same day, and when reported, army officers could not explain them. Okay, so once again, folks, I'm not going to continue with this report. It's about 125, I think 128 pages, and it is about 3.6 megabytes. However, like I said, if you guys are interested in studying the report yourself, it has a lot of drawings contained in there, a lot of technical information and measurements, etc., photographs and copies of newspaper reports. You are absolutely welcome to send me an email at bookwormonthecase@gmail.com. Just put the title of the paper in the title line and I will send you the entire document. So next week we will be talking about the psychology and the psychiatry behind these sightings and some investigations that have been done with people who had sightings. We'll be talking about mass delusions, and obviously some of them can be proven and others debunked. And that is what we'll be doing next week. So until then, from me, see you there. Bye.